And I just remember thinking, man, if only I had known 4 years before, I would have killed everybody.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's Jeff Heilman project. We are nearing our 100th episode. 100 episodes, Jeff. Can you believe it?
I don't know. Sounds like a lot.
Don't be so excited. Andrew should have some cannons going off or something. So it's the last day of the month. Well, it's not the last day of the month. This is the last podcast recording for the month of February.
Do we keep track? I don't even keep track. You guys
And
keep track of that stuff.
Honey,
Yes.
how has your month been?
Feb was good. We got some deals going. We got some consulting working. We've got some podcasts printing. We've got new friends. We've got new people. We are, clients are popping. Email newsletters about done to be launching, and some new online course. I'm starting to get questions from people like saying, "Hey, when's your online course? We got to buy it. We need to buy your online course." So the online course, 8-figure deals, 9-figure channels, is in the hopper. And then some new podcast guests coming up, some really interesting people coming up, which I'll leave those to be uncovered over time. But I think February, it's your first kind of month out of the slog, fully out of the slog from the holidays. And did we have Jeffrey? Jeffrey came last month. We had Valentine's Day. That was fun.
Yeah, it's been a pretty chill month, and talking all about relationships and love.
We like relationships. Yeah, we got to give a shout out to a friend of ours, Mrs. Haynes.
Yeah.
In the hospital, we have a friend of ours who is not doing very well. So we just send a shout out to
praying
Joanna,
for you, JoJo,
Chris.
Yeah.
And their family, our Jubilee family. We love those guys, and just hope she gets better and pulls through, and the best intentions and prayers out for their family.
Oh, I know what has changed this month. For those of you who are our avid audio listeners who are not watching us on YouTube, but hey, everybody on YouTube.
You don't have to, but
Jeff Heilman is sporting a caterpillar, and that caterpillar has begun to grow above his
above
lip.
the fruited plain.
Above the fruited plain.
Yes, it is true.
So yes, Jeff is sporting a mustache with his beanie.
I've never had a mustache before. Never. I've had a goatee, a beard.
What was Matt saying? He was like, "Are you ready for the?"
He said he thought I was.
It was militant or something.
It was something military. Yeah. Was I going to join the SEALs or something?
The SEALs. Yeah. Jeff
no, I don't think they'd take me at this point. I'm
he
old
does
and
look
fat
like
and
he's
slow.
He does look like he's a lone survivor over here trying to traverse the Yukon in your bro stash or whatever.
Well, it's I've just never had one before, and my mom had breast cancer. My mother-in-law had breast cancer last year, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna do a little carryover for Movember in February. So
sounds like you just wanted to grow a mustache, and that's great. I mean, go for it.
Nothing wrong with
Although I have been noticing that you get all the food and the everything.
I get stuff stuck in it like it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's harder to manage than I thought it was going to be. What's up, peoples?
And then
all you men out there who've given us beautiful facial hair all through the years.
You guys, I come into the bathroom the other day, and he goes, "I don't think the line underneath my nose above it is straight. I think I'm going to need to go get a straight edge so that I can straighten." I'm thinking, I'm like, this mustache is now becoming, it's got its own personality now. We shall name it Hank, and it shall be your friend. And Hank evidently needs a lot of love and attention.
Oh my gosh.
And
too funny.
So it's definitely more
That's what we do here at the Jeff Heilman
definitely more.
podcast,
you don't even do your
gentlemen.
hair. That's it. You're always, you got a hat.
What do you mean I don't do my hair?
You don't
I
even
put a hat
do your
on every
hair.
day.
You
every
spend
day.
more time on this mustache. We'll let the YouTubers, the viewers, decide. Leave a comment if you like the bro stash. And if you're an audio listener and you just want to come and pop on and see, and then leave a comment about the bro stash, help a sister out.
Help a sister. Yeah. Are you trying to get rid of it, or
No,
are you
I
trying
mean
to?
it doesn't really matter to me. It's you're so funny because you always say, "I never have a mustache. I never have a beard," and like every profile picture we go back
That
and look
is
at,
funny
you
that, like,
have a
if I
beard.
am on vacation, I am not shaving for like 30 years.
Yeah. And
So
so anyways, I'm not it's not new to me and it'll be it's a phase. You
it's
grow
a
it, you
phase.
shave it.
I just never had a mustache before, and I figured I'd try it. Besides, Grandpa Gil, he's kind of an homage to Grandpa Gil too,
Yeah. Well,
because we miss him.
at least you're not one of those people that like never shave it. I mean, there are I've like no
You mean like my
yeah,
dad?
I was gonna say I've
I've seen
never
pictures
seen
of
your
my
dad
dad
without a
without a
mustache
mustache, but I have never seen
ever.
him without a
Yeah, and
mustache.
that's you're his
He did.
kid your whole
Yeah,
life.
my whole life, I've never seen my dad without a mustache that
Okay,
I could think
so
of.
for today's episode, we have these fun little cards.
That's what we do.
You have a stack near you.
I have a stack of
And
cards.
we're going
Okay.
to take turns asking each other questions because it's Love Month and this game
Love month.
is the BFF Best Friends Forever edition of Let's Get Deep.
Welcome to Love Month.
The question game to get to know your friends better for ages 8 and up. So that to me means it's, age appropriate
Yeah,
since you're 9. And
usually at least.
and it's from the creators of What Do You Meme. So this is going to be kind of fun.
Okay.
So I'll ask you a question
That's
first.
why she's the producer.
Here's a question. You have to delete every single photo you've ever taken except for one. Which one would you keep?
Of the ones I've taken, it would be your one of you in a sweatshirt.
Which one?
The one that
of
I
me in
tried
the
to draw
sweatshirt?
you a couple of times where you're sitting with your hand up like this and you're in a sweatshirt. It's in my favorites. I love it. I've tried to draw it like 5 or 6 times, and I would keep that one. It's my favorite.
Hmm.
I'll show it to you.
Yeah, I don't remember
I
that
love
one.
it. I just love it. You're just reclined and relaxed, and it's a G-rated Titanic photo.
Oh, thank God. I can't really think. There's so many pictures. There's so many pictures that I think that at this season in my life, I would probably keep. Gosh, I don't know, because I was gonna say I'd probably keep the one of that I took of Grandma and Grandpa when
Yep.
when she died,
Oh wow,
and
that's not G-rated.
I know it's kind of
Horror
morbid.
film.
But and I'm like, geez, do I say that when I've got like no, but no, when I came to visit and she was on the ground and I took a picture of
Yeah, I mean
him.
it's part of life. I get it.
It's in my hidden folder of my phone because it is her, her DB, and but yet it's just it's just all emotion, and
Yeah.
it's like I don't know, it's just
Well, Grandpa was still alive.
it's
when
a
you took it.
prize, and it's just a core. It's going to forever be a core memory of
Yeah.
her and just my life, kind of all summed up into one picture. But there's also, one of our wedding pictures. That would probably
I
be
do
one.
like the one wedding photo of the two of us. That'd be number 2. Is the wedding photo, kind of the money shot for you and me.
Oh, but there's that really cute one of that first week when we were married, when we first met, and you were wearing
That was cute.
the top
Yep.
coat,
Yep,
and,
I love
and
that
I'm
one
like
too.
super cute. So, anyways,
We may
good
or may
question.
not show these. Yeah,
What?
we're not going to
Ask
show
me-
you. What,
Ask me a question.
what is your least favorite room in the house? I would say it's probably the laundry room.
My least favorite room in the house. Oh my God, my least favorite room in the house is my closet because I don't have one.
Yeah.
Literally. Okay. Anybody who's watching on YouTube,
By the way, this is our show about nothing.
this is Love Month. We're finishing
It's
up
Love
by
Month.
getting
I
to
love
know
it.
each other better. No.
It is good.
Okay, if you can see the width of this
I
chair,
need to get her a closet,
and
ladies
for
and
those
gentlemen.
of you who are listening, the width of this chair is I'm Jessica Builds. I should know this. This is 3 feet. It's like two and a half
two and a
feet,
quarter.
maybe
I'm
two and a
guessing
quarter
2 and a quarter
feet
is my guess.
wide. That is the width of my closet.
That's about right.
And he, on the other hand, has
I have
a
a man
double
room.
wide closet with 2 racks, lower, upper.
all my clothes.
So, yeah, my least favorite room is my closet because I don't have one, and my clothes are like
This is how I look at my drawing. This is
What?
lame. I'm trying to draw my shoe from the wrong angle, and it's lame.
Okay, yeah, okay. So,
That's Dad's
next
lame drawing.
question. My closet is the room that I
Closet. Okay.
dislike the most.
Okay.
Okay, next question. Okay. No, I don't want to ask that. This is boring. Boring question.
Pears or apples?
What was the last thing that made you LOL, laugh out loud? What was the last thing that made you laugh out loud? Like
You're laughing right now.
I know, that's why it's like I'm gonna pass on
Okay.
that one. That one's too easy.
Okay.
Which emoji do you overuse?
Probably wink.
The wink one?
I wink a lot. I wink at people. What about you?
Well, okay, so I use that one that's like that, with the tongue out and the one eye, but evidently that's supposed to be a sexy emoji, the one with the one eye open.
I thought that was the
and
cantaloupe
the tongue
or
out.
the peach.
Okay, that is literally a sex emoji. No, the
Well,
one
that's a girl butt, right? But then they
The
have the
peach is the
eggplant
girl-
as
yes.
the other one. I just learned this. I didn't know.
No,
I don't send
okay.
eggplants to people.
I use
It's
the
not a
face.
thing.
But
Is that a thing?
mine is like it's like
Hello, here's my
it's like
eggplant.
sticking your tongue out.
Really-
It's the sticking your tongue out one, like and
Yeah,
then you got
with one eye.
Yeah,
How is that sex? How does that have anything to do with sex?
because people are.
Is that what you
people
look
are
like when you're having
whack.
sex,
I don't
or
know.
what?
No, people are whack. It's like
I-
frisky.
that-
I think it's like a
Dude,
Ah.
Dude, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
All
I
this
use
time?
that one all the time.
I got some
and-
bros
and-
I need to talk to because they're sending me some
You've
whacked
got-
emojis. Whack job.
Yeah, so it's best if you're
Dude.
gonna if you're
Seriously, I didn't know that. Ew. Oh, picking
If
up
you're
the
gonna-
soap. Is that the
Okay,
picking up the soap
no,
emoji?
just stick to the regular smile emoji.
Oh, dude,
I-
I have sent that to people. I gotta apologize. I'm a little embarrassed because I've been sending
like,
the sex emoji
That's
and I didn't
why,
know it.
That's why
I
I,
thought
lost
it was
that
just-
job.
My boss be like, what? Yeah. You know what? You might want to use ChatGPT before you're using that emoji to text your boss.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Whoa. Okay, so that's the last thing that made me LOL. I'm crying. I have tears coming out of my eyes because I didn't know that I've been sexting with people that I work with. With the whack emoji.
Yeah.
Whack-a-mole.
Yes.
I just call that the whack-a-mole emoji because that's what it looks like.
Mhm.
Because I'm like playing whack-a-mole. That's what I look like.
I taught
Nothing to do with sex.
I taught Kelly this week FFS. She'd never heard of FFS syndrome.
FFS?
Yeah, flat forehead syndrome.
Oh.
Flat forehead syndrome. Like when because we were talking about going thrifting, and like one of our like determining factor of whether I buy something is am I going to go home later and go like
shit out of VA.
suffer from FFS.
Yeah.
Well, what I didn't know, we've always called it flat forehead syndrome, and she's like, "Oh my god, that's the first time I've ever heard of flat forehead syndrome." And if you put it into the emoji, like the search engine, you put
Is
FFS,
there really
and it
one?
comes up as the flat
Really?
forehead.
Really?
Yeah, so it's I had no
What?
idea. So that was kind
Okay.
of fun.
Wow.
I also taught her what WAS meant,
Well,
and that's from
we'll
your
leave that
mom.
for another day. Yeah.
Okay, ask me a question. Your turn.
Name something you lost and still haven't found.
Oh my god. Sore subject, really?
You gave me the card. Look, I told you we'd get you a new set.
He got me the most beautiful sunglasses for Christmas. So it's been less than 3 months. Now,
No,
usually I'm pretty
6
good.
weeks. You made them sick. You made it 6 weeks.
Usually I'm pretty good. They were very expensive. Not going to insert
They
brand.
were not very expensive.
Well, they felt
were
very expensive.
more than a car payment.
They looked really nice, and I'm still holding out hope. I don't believe. Hey, I'm not going to answer that because I
You're
don't
not
think they're
admitting
lost.
that they're lost yet?
I don't think they're
Okay.
lost. I think that
Put
I
'em
permanent.
somewhere comfy.
I think that I've temporarily misplaced my sunglasses.
Yeah.
And I will find them. And so something that I've lost that I
Bob has 'em
haven't
now.
found that.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I remember what I didn't even drink. I don't. Okay, what reunion was it? It was my high school reunion, and it was at Palo Alto. It was in Palo Alto with Christine. We met up with Christine
Roop.
Roop, and like
Yeah.
it was like was that my 20th reunion? And it was downtown Palo Alto. Do you remember that? And there was like we went to burgers. There was like a whole. Anyways,
Not really.
it was I bought an outfit. I bought a black.
I do remember the shoes you bought.
Yeah, I bought the shoes. They were
Yeah.
black and
Those
they had
were awesome
white
the
polka
one
dots.
time you wore them.
And they had heels.
Yeah.
And I never saw them again after that night.
Yeah.
And I literally have no idea what happened. How do you lose shoes? I had kids. I was nursing pregnant or maybe become pregnant. I was not drunk to like misplace my shoes, but literally, how do a pair of shoes go missing? And they were really cute too. They were like 2-inch high heels.
Yeah, spike heels.
And they were black with white polka dots on them. So anyways, no idea where theirs went. So there you go.
Yeah.
Now, that's better since my sunglasses aren't lost and they're gonna turn up.
Okay, I hope they do.
Okay. If animals could talk, which species do you think would be the most annoying?
Templeton the rat.
Oh my god.
Templeton the rat from
Oh,
Charlotte's
yeah.
Web.
Charlotte. Oh yeah. Well, that's just because he sounded like.
Yeah, I would say Templeton the rat.
You
would
think
be the
rats?
most
Just rats in
Yeah.
general? Because that's
Yeah.
what species?
because they'd sound like Templeton.
I for sure I could have sworn you would have said cat, but maybe you're learning to like
Cats?
our cats.
No, let's not go too far. Okay.
Hey, our cats are nice. They stay out of your hair.
Yeah, they would be like, oh,
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. he hasn't fed
So
us yet
because of their
today."
personality, you
personality,
wouldn't
yeah.
consider them annoying.
Yeah, like Aristocats. Don't you want to be a cat? What's that song? There's a song.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be a cat.
Because
Because
the cat,
the only
it's the
cat
only cat
who knows where it's at.
Yeah.
Everybody sees it.
Yeah.
I would think that seagulls are definitely annoying. Mine.
Seagulls can talk, and they are annoying as F. Yeah.
If you live West Coast, do they
I don't
have?
think
They have
do
seagulls
they have
on-
seagulls in New York?
That's what I was just gonna
I
say.
don't
Do they
know.
have
I
seagulls
don't
on
know.
the East Coast?
I know they don't have sourdough,
Oh my god.
but they have
Maybe
rye
that's
and
it.
pumpernickel.
Maybe seagulls go where the sourdough
They go where
is.
the sourdough is. They know what's
They
up.
know what's up.
They're the only cats that know where to eat, which is ironic considering that cats eat seagulls, but that'll be another day.
I'm trying to think of like what's the most annoying like animal, like other than like insects.
Some people might think it's us on this podcast.
Anyway.
That's why we have 7
your
subscribers.
turn. We
Oh.
have more than 7.
We
Shut
do.
up.
We do. That's true. We've tricked several hundred. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Is there a superpower to making money?
Yes, Elon Musk seems to have had it since birth.
Superpower. Oh, geez. Because okay. Now this is when I'm nerding out because it's like, well, Batman's not really doesn't have superpowers.
He is a superhero,
He is a superhero, but he doesn't have superpowers. So then you got to go into, well, is it actual superpower like an X-Men or is it okay? So, I don't want to be able to read people's minds because people are jank. Being able to be invisible would probably be pretty
Invisible's
cool.
pretty cool,
Being
sure.
able to I don't consider going back in time a superpower. That is an ability, but that's not like powerful or
Yeah.
superpower. Gosh. Oh, okay. Healing. Like to be able to
To
heal.
be able to just boom.
Yeah. I think that would be
Resuscitate.
like the super
Okay.
like the restore health.
Yeah.
Like whatever that
That
power
would be amazing.
would just to be
Yeah.
able to like go around. I think
Can
that
you heal yourself? Or do you like bounce it off of somebody?
I think that you're just I don't know. I think it'd be a huge responsibility because you'd be like freaking busy all the time. Like okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clean, close to godliness. Speaking of rats.
Yeah, sure. But I think definitely like that's the most thing that I would think would be like the most useful superpower would be
Yeah.
to be able to heal somebody
I think
else.
that would be very useful for
Whew.
many sick people.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
That'd be cool.
Okay, what you got?
Okay. What's your favorite family tradition?
I think it's just sitting around the dinner table and saying what we're grateful for. That's my chance to connect with the kids every day because I've 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 battled with working too much, feeling like I was lazy and feeling like I
Well,
just
I
wasn't
know
getting the
what
job
that
done.
tradition is, but for
But
our audience, would you tell them what we do? Tell them what
yeah,
we do.
we do depending on how much time we have. We go around the table and we say what our favorite part of the day was, or we'll go around the table and we'll say what our favorite thing about each of the other people at the table is.
Which somebody did the math last night that it was like 90 different things.
81.
Like if all 9 of us say yeah, it's 80,
81
81
things.
things. It takes a while.
It takes a
And we're
while.
like, and 2
Sometimes
hours
it goes into
later.
breakfast. Yeah. Um, so we do that, and then recently we've like, okay, we got to nip this and make it a little shorter. We talk about what we're grateful for, and then we pray. Then we choose somebody to pray for
Yeah.
individually, and it's just this whole work from home, like post COVID apocalypse that we live in now, to where we don't go into an office anymore. We don't even have an office. Like it's a WeWork. It's like, hey, Bill, how's your coding going for what was that company's name again? Versus like actually water cooler conversations around what you're doing. But that's just the way it is. Like we just don't. Which is why like going out to a restaurant, going out to a bar, going to a gas station and talking to a homeless guy next to a trash can, like just human contact is so scarce now. So I don't know, how do I get on the topic? What's the question?
Your favorite family
Favorite
tradition.
family thing. So for me, being able to connect with the kids, like we instituted dinner, no phones on the table or anywhere near the table. You can put them in your lap, but we don't want to see them. And we'll sit for 30 minutes at 6:00 every night, and we have dinner as a family. And it's my way of connecting to the family and feeling like, okay, the legacy is getting built. We're doing our job, keeping everything on track. If people, and then, the other thing too, we ask him is, what did you fail at today? And I got that from the Spanx founder, whatever her name is, superstar Sarah Blakely that we love. So I started asking the kids, what did you fail at today? What did you try to get done today that you failed at? Because I want to totally make sure that we desensitize school. When you grade on a perfect scale of 4.0, or if you go to Purdue, it's a 6.0 scale. But if you go to 4.0, like everything you do has to do with how close to perfection are you. And I want to go the opposite. I want to say, what did you fail at today? Because I think if you can get kids to associate failure with community, failure with coming together as a family, and failure with like, this is normal, this is part of the process, I think it'll desensitize our kids.
Oh my gosh, we have to have Matt
the-
on the podcast. He is so hilarious. We were talking today. Matt's a friend.
share who Matt is?
Matt is a friend.
We love Matt. Hey, Matt.
And
Shout out to Matt.
he gets new lacrosse players as a coach, and he asks everybody who has siblings, and then he asks after he asks who has siblings, who's ever been in a fist fight before, who's ever gotten punched, and then that tells like number one, it tells you it tells him if he has if they have siblings that they've been in fights before. And then number two, like if you've ever gotten punched, then you can take a hit. And he's just like, man, I ask now in like 2025 and like either nobody has any siblings or nobody's ever been punched before. And he's just like that. Then he kind of knows his starting place, like who he's working with, because you're going to get hit. Like this is a
You're gonna get hit
contact sport.
every single
And if you've
day.
never been punched, or you don't have a sibling, like you don't have a brother or a sister, like we got to like start at like, like how much coddling is actually involved in
hitting practice in football and tackle football
Yeah.
in high school. I remember that. I was terrified of it.
Yeah.
I was absolutely terrified. In fact, I dropped out of football because I didn't like
Didn't want to get
hitting.
hit
And
or
it was,
be hit.
I was terrified of it. I don't want to steal the show from what you're.
No, it's fine. That was just,
But
we're kind of off
But I remember
topic,
in
but-
freshman year, I was terrified of hitting practice, and we basically did half hits. And then when we started getting up to full hits, I was
Is
really
that
scared.
I have no idea what football like, do you guys does the coach take 2 guys and is like, "Okay, now, like, run into each other?"
Yeah, you start it about a yard and a half apart, and then you bam, and then you back up, and then bam, and then you back up to like 7 or 8 yards apart, and then you run. Bam. Okay, good. Go back in line. And then the next pair. Bam. 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 Okay, go back in line. And you just keep doing that for like an hour.
So it's like those rams that you see that
Yeah.
hit head to
It's
head?
like you're a ram. And granted, like I can handle it now and I can, push through it. But I dropped out of football because of hitting practice. No question in my mind. I did not have a strong male role model that says, "No, this is fun. This is trying to kill yourself and get a concussion on purpose is what you're about as a dude," right? Like that was not how I was raised.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to play football. I loved football. The reason I got into it was the aesthetic of being able to throw the ball well and catch it and
Yeah.
score points and run faster than the next guys and move. And I grew up playing football my whole life, and I got to tackle football, and I had such a poor self-image, and I wasn't built right for it. So I chickened out my freshman year, and then and I went and got a job. And the coach even called me. He's like, "I don't think you want to be walking away from this." And he's looking at me going, "All right, if this guy eats 2 chicken breasts a day and lifts for 4 years, he's going to be a
Star player.
superstar player." Because I was even freshman year, I was like 6'2" at 14. I was always the tallest kid in class until I got to freshman year. Brian Treadway was like 6'3" freshman year, and he ended up being 6'7". I ended up being 6'5". So I just wasn't developed. You don't really hit your stride at 13, which is when I started playing football, tackle football. So I chickened out and then got a job, and I just dropped out of school. I was so humiliated. All my friends were playing football, and I was just humiliated that I quit, and I didn't know how to reconcile it. And so I just completely just basically dropped out of social, anything having to do with school. I just went for the minimum classes to keep so I could graduate, and then I went and got a job so I could make money, so I could try to come back from this horrible sense of failing and chickening out of tackle football. And then sophomore year, I kept working. And then junior year, I completely dropped out of high school and went to De Anza and did the junior college stuff instead. And then, like 3 weeks into the school year, I realized that I could play sports, and I wanted to play tackle football and overcome the hitting drill situation. And I still chickened out. I hadn't been through double days because, like, they start in July. Hitting all the time. August, hitting. September, hitting. Well, it's like October, and I'm joining the tackle varsity football team. We had normal football team will have anywhere from 46, 47 to as many as 60. We had 19 players. Everybody played offense and defense, and I sat on the bench almost the entire year, the entire season, because I was being punished basically for not playing football. And like, okay, you say you want to be on the team. And I remember I still chickened out of hitting, chickened out in games, chickened out in practice, chickened out in hitting sessions. And then I remember my last game, I'm like, okay, this is my chance to get over fear because I'm not going to college as a bench warmer. This isn't a thing. And I remember there was this little guy, I think his name was Hisham. And it was this little dude, this little Iranian kid. And he was like 5'6", and I'm 6'5" at this point. And I'm up to almost 180 pounds. And I remember it was the last hit of the last warm-up session of the last game of tackle football. And I'm going to sit on the bench as a bench warmer with 19 guys, everybody playing both ways, and me sitting on the bench like an idiot. And I'm sitting there going, this is the last time I'm going to be able to run as fast as I can possibly run and hit somebody. And it was literally like, okay, everybody go one more hitting drill, and then we're going to go into calisthenics and get ready for the game. And I'm like, if I don't try to kill this person, I am going to die of shame and corrode away in my skeleton helmet here. And I remember I ran at him and I hit him as hard as I could. I ran right over him.
Poor guy. He's like
was
5'7".
He was, but okay, but it's all about how low you can get. So he's fine.
Okay,
He's
all
fine.
right.
I could not get, no matter how low I went, I could not get below him at 5'6". So I ran over him and we hit, and it basically, and then I think, I don't remember, it might be delusions of grandeur, but I think the coach was, I feel like Dr. Fraser Crane, I'm listening.
Yes, I'm listening. And
I remember I ran him over. I hit him as hard as I could. He goes, "Yeah, good job, Heilman." And the coach is like, "Good job, Heilman." And I was like, "Okay, I did it. I ran at that guy as hard as I could." Is that all it was? And the thing is, the whole thing about hitting is whoever hits harder feels it less. So if you hit, yeah, I didn't know that. I chickened out and got my ass kicked for 4 freaking years. And then on the last day, I'm like, okay, I'm going to run over this little guy.
Oh, this explains so much.
So anyway, I can tell you that
I'm so thankful for these podcasts.
on the last hit of the last warm-up session of the last game I sat on the bench for in high school, I ran over Hisham. Sorry, Hisham, if you're listening, I guarantee you you're not. But I ran over this guy, and then I was like, okay, I did it. I killed somebody. This was great. Awesome. I didn't know killing people was this easy. Man, I wish I did it. And I just remember thinking, man, if only I had known 4 years before, I would have killed everybody.
Talk about FFS.
Yeah. What does that mean again?
Flat forehead
Flat
syndrome?
forehead. Yeah, well, yeah, apparently I had a flat forehead for 4 years because I got murdered on the football field. But I look at that and I think, it was a lesson learned about it was a lesson learned about what we're really made of and the desire, the inner strength wanting to come out and do something productive, something amazing, something special, that you could make a contribution, that's in everybody. That was in me at 18 with a horrible self-image. The only church sermon I'd ever heard was Linus talking on the Charlie Brown Christmas special. Didn't know anything about God. Didn't believe in him. Didn't have any idea who I was or any sense of identity other than the kid of a couple of hippie parents who got together long enough to make some bad decisions. And along I came with a pizza box and a 6-pack of beer. And to actually feel that sense of like, this is my moment. I have to do this. If I don't do this right now, I'm going to regret not pushing through this for the rest of my life. And I sat on the bench for a whole season just so I could get over this fear that has petrified me for 4 years. And I did push through it, and I'm very grateful that I was given the opportunity to kill somebody on the
run over a kid,
run over some defenseless little running back. I did not feel bad for that guy. That guy had like 1,000 yards rushing for the season, and
okay. Sounds good.
But that that's my football story.
Okay, your turn. Ask me a question.
What did you have for breakfast?
Yeah, no.
If you could if you could have any superpower, oh, sorry, killing people, running over people on the football field, that would be my superpower. I want to kick the football as far as Clark Kent. Remember that? Smallville. Did you ever have an imaginary friend? Oof. Glad I'm asking you that one.
Why, did you?
It's not my question.
Do you still have an imaginary friend? Yeah.
His name's Shiloh.
Oh my god.
I do. His name's Shiloh.
No, actually, that I never had an imaginary friend. I don't know. I just never. It was never something that I, even as an only child, I don't think that I just thought like I mean, I had my dolls, I talked to
Yeah.
my dolls and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but I never had like I know some people are like, and his name was whatever, and he went with me everywhere I went, and no, I just never had a imaginary friend.
Okay. Next question.
So next, so sorry. Hey, if you had an imaginary friend, if you had the power to make someone not famous anymore, who would you choose?
To make somebody not famous?
Yeah, like if you could just like, we're not going to talk about that person anymore.
Like Nancy Pelosi's like number one on my
Oh
list.
my god. I don't know that. I don't consider her
I don't.
necessarily famous. I guess people do know who she
I
is.
would go.
Is.
I would say Gavin Newsom's probably number 2. Get rid of him, for God's sakes. I hope he finds the job he can do.
This is not a political podcast.
It's not.
But
It's not a political party. It's not about that at all. But he is. I mean, he's just worthless. He's just absolutely worthless. I don't know how he has a job. He should be working at a Circle K, and not as a manager, like sweeping floors or something. The guy is just absolutely worthless. He's good looking. Maybe put him in the movie business or something where people can look at him, but it seems to be the only thing he's good at.
yeah.
I wish he was not famous.
Yeah, every time something really traumatic happens, like some, Unabomber or somebody, like someone gets celebrated, like for a long time it was like OJ Simpson, like I just in those cases it seems to be like the pendulum goes so far into the perpetrator that the victims end up not getting, the victims end up not having the attention placed on them because obviously they're not here anymore. Like it seems to be this really strange, like, okay, somebody's dead, so let's just not talk about him anymore, let's not cover him anymore, but let's put all of our focus on the person who did that. Like, we need answers, we want it. So then the news and the media becomes this whole thing about, this person who did this vile act, and I feel like it goes, then they become celebrities, and that's like, no, how about we give them zero attention, and like, how about we just talk about the person instead of let's talk about, people, and let's work on our work on our ethics for how we media. I mean, all if I could get rid of all news, that'd be awesome. If I could just get rid of all the news, let's just get rid of the news, period. And let's
Hey, the
have
news does
real
their job.
conversations.
The news does their job. They do their job scaring people. That's their job. Scaring people and getting people to think about horrible things.
Well, but it's not even about scaring people. It's about selling ads. That's what their job is, to sell
100%.
Toilet paper.
Our job
for
is
Pete's
to
sake.
sell ads, and we don't do very good at it. But yeah, I'm just kidding.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's their job. The advertising funds the news. I get it.
So,
and if you want to stay in the news business, you better sell ads. So you better talk about the pterodactyl that's in Central Park or whatever's the next big COVID that's going to take 1 million people out.
I think that we should lighten up the end of our podcast.
We can lighten it up. Look, we have a. All right, here's your imaginary friend.
You ask me a question, and then
what's
we'll
the first thing you notice when you meet a new person?
I'm gonna go old school. It's always gonna be the teeth.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Smile is everything. For number one, if they're smiling, because that's approachable. And number two is when they smile.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm old school that way. Like I will always notice people's teeth.
I do notice people's teeth, but
if they're funky, then it's not a judgment. Like I'm not gonna judge them because they got funky teeth, but it's just like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
Yeah. I notice people's eyes. I look at people in the eye and I notice, and shoes, because I'm a shoes guy. I like shoes.
Yeah, no, I think it's always been somebody's teeth, and I don't know necessarily why. I think maybe people who have had, like, I didn't necessarily have the greatest teeth growing up. I didn't have bad teeth. I had spaces in my teeth.
You have great teeth now.
I have good teeth now, but I definitely, like, I think that part of it is we spend so much time looking at, like, movie star people, like everybody, you expect, it's become an expectation that people have perfect teeth, and so when they
don't,
it's like, whoa, teeth, whoa, because it's just so natural to see people that have no space,
Yeah.
like have a nice smile, and I'm sure that's an American thing because I know not all countries
Oh, it's
are known for their
totally,
teeth.
totally an American thing.
But
Yeah.
like just to expect everybody to have a pleasant smile, but we were also raised to go to the dentist every 6 months, and orthodontics
And take
is like a
fluoride when
huge
you were a
thing.
kid.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. That's probably also a California thing. I'm imagining like probably
I think
in
fluoride
the South or something they probably
is
don't.
more common in California. I remember we took it every week.
Oh yeah, I remember they'd come to our class and we would
Went
go
outside
outside and
you
swish
got to spit.
and
That was cool.
yeah, we got a break from class so that we could go swish and spit. That was great.
Get fluoride on our teeth. I remember that.
Well,
What else? What else is positive? We can go rapid fire questions.
okay.
What's the first thing you notice about Meet a News Person? Done. Which member of your family do you think you know the least about?
In my family that I know the least about.
Does anybody really know Osh? He's a sphinx.
I think right now, since he's living in Norway and we
Probably
only get
Joe.
to talk to him once a week, I think Joe is probably the one we know the least about right now.
Name another country you would want to visit. Norway.
Would want
to visit.
Africa. I absolutely want to go to Africa.
How about a country?
A country? Oh, like in Africa, like a continent, Africa.
Yeah, there's many countries.
There's many countries in Africa. I
I
would like to
want
go
to
to
Kenya.
South Africa or
Yeah, South
Kenya,
Africa's good.
Durban,
Yeah,
and see
I
my
want to go
friends.
to the Karen Blixen Museum in Kenya, which is where the filming of Out of Africa was filmed. I want to go see that.
Kenya would be great.
Kenya
what's next?
would be good. I also want to do the train.
Yes, I want absolutely 100%.
And that's a lot of countries,
I want
but
to do
I don't
train.
know.
I just have this vision of seeing like giraffe like running alongside a train.
What word do you always spell wrong?
Receive.
Receive.
And every time I be for E,
I be
except
for E, I
after
know.
C, and
for me,
neighbor and way.
Rhythm is a weird one. I think it's Greek. Okay, who is your favorite character from DC or Marvel Comics?
Captain America.
Do-do-do.
He's my boy.
Also, I love Spider-Man. I just like Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's super cool.
He's cool. Which cartoon do you wish you were a character on? Spider-Man.
Cartoon do I wish? I wish I was No, I don't. I wouldn't want to be Candace. I'd want to be like Phineas.
Phineas?
I
Yeah.
want to be Phineas.
Candace has got issues.
Candace has always got problems.
I want to be
man.
Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
Yeah, Doofenshmirtz. I'll be Perry.
Maybe it does look like school. I love him. That's the best written show ever.
It is.
Who's the funniest person in your family?
Washington.
I think
Sorry,
I
Andrew.
agree. Yep. Also a Sphinx.
Oh, by the way, if
What's
you
the
want
worst
to
part of
follow
a
him,
s'more?
yeah, right. Burf. Huh?
What's the worst part of a s'more?
The worst part of a s'more. Is there a worst part? I would say
Graham cracker.
chocolate. I mean,
Chocolate's the worst part?
I love I love the whole thing. No, okay,
They are
no.
Jessica's
Okay, here we
favorite.
go. The
That's like
worst
saying,
part.
what's the worst part of an Oreo cookie?
The worst part of a s'more is when they're gone.
Oh, that's cute. Okay, good. I want to take a s'more and put honey on it. Honey
Oh
on
gosh,
honey
no,
on top
they're
of
so
it.
sticky.
Can you name the favorite band of the person to your left?
Andrew likes classical music.
Yeah. Andrew's like, is Bach in a band?
I have a favorite band.
Who's your favorite
Who's your
band?
favorite band?
I didn't know that.
I think it's they're not really a band. They're more of a quartet, but Straight No Chaser was my favorite band for a long time.
Straight No
Yeah,
Chaser. Yeah. They're
I was gonna say
Coral Grove.
John Williams.
I would say your favorite band is maybe Maroon 5.
No, that would be
Madeline's favorite band.
Madeline's favorite band.
Maybe the Beatles.
Do we have to define band? Is band a solo? Is it a person?
John Mayer. I don't know. Who's your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
Well,
Pete Fontaine. Fountain.
But is he a band?
Pete Fountain.
Like I would
He
say,
had a
like
band.
Glenn Miller was a band. Like let's
Miller Band.
define band.
Yeah, Glenn Miller Band. Sure.
Glenn Miller. I mean, that's
Okay,
I
Glenn Miller.
like music. I like so much
I know.
music that it's kind of like what's a band? Like so like a legitimate actual band. I would have
Yeah.
to say the first band that comes to mind is U2, but not because of their
really?
other stuff. But
I didn't know that.
I like one album. I like Rattle and Hum.
Rattle and
It's
Hum.
my favorite.
Nice.
And it's a whole band.
It is a band. That's true.
And
YouTube's
then
your favorite. YouTube, not
because I would
YouTube.
say, I mean, my go-to albums have to be like Paul Simon, Graceland, but is Paul Simon a band?
She was when he did Graceland. He didn't sing all that African stuff by himself.
But
Lindy Ronstadt was
is
on
that a
that.
band? He's a person. He's a soloist.
Simon and Garfunkel's a band.
Okay, then I probably listened to John Mayer Trio band. There
John
you
Mayer
go.
Trio is my
that's
number
like
one.
that's like the
Yep,
one that
I
I
agree.
listen to
Mine
the most.
too.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
love it.
Keep going.
Would you rather burp, glitter? Burp? Would you rather burp, glitter, or fart fireworks? Okay, we're gonna pass. We don't talk about stuff like that on this show. Which Guinness World Record do you think you could set, Osh? What?
If there was a thrifting Guinness Guinness
Thrifting,
record,
there you
can
go.
I go for that
Yeah.
one?
There you go. And I could do one on probably, I don't know, talking about myself on a podcast. For the longest period ever. Which fast food
No, yours
restaurant?
would be inserting foot in mouth the most.
Foot. If I'm lucky, if I'm not farting fireworks, right? Which fast food restaurant has the best fries?
Oh,
Carl's
okay.
Jr.
I think that was actually on the tier list. I was watching a most recent YouTube where he tested all of the French fries, and Carl's Jr. was up there on the top.
No contest. All right. Name a book you've read more than once.
I have absolutely 100% read The Will to Meaning, Man's Search for Meaning more
by
than
Viktor
once.
Frankl.
Yeah.
And I've read The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by
But
John Maxwell
the
twice.
Bible even more than that. So there you go.
Yeah. I probably read it. I probably read it more.
Oh, and I always recommend The Greatest Miracle in the World.
Greatest Miracle. Greatest Miracle, hands down.
Getting anybody
If
started.
you have not listened to on Audible or read The Greatest Miracle in the World by Og Mandino, it is so great. Such a wonderful story.
Anybody who has never picked up a PMA book, Positive Mental Attitude book, that is the one that I say, this is your first PMA book.
I would agree. Like if you're
to
getting
pick up
started with
ever.
the Bible and you've passed Charlie Brown Christmas Special, next I would go to John.
Yep. Start with the Book of John.
Start with,
and if you're going to start PMA books,
if you're going to start start with The Greatest Miracle by Og Mandino. The best.
Yeah.
The best. Okay, what qualities do you admire most in your parents?
My mother is the most tenacious person I
She
think
is
that I've ever
tenacious.
met.
Yep.
She will
Tenacious
she will
Pam.
not let go until she has been blessed. Like
That is
in that
right.
like in like
That is
I'm not
right.
going to
I
let
would
go until
agree.
you bless me, Lord.
Yep.
And then my dad is just he is so funny. And I mean, he sends me a dad joke every single night, but like he tells story. My dad can tell a story, and I want him to tell it. I want him to tell more stories. Like every time I see him, I'm always like, tell that one again. Tell me about the time that you got stuck in the Japanese airport and the
Tom
doors.
Hanks.
Well, he talks about how he's telling the story about how he got you got what do you call it? Like it's delayed, the flight's delayed, and you have to spend the night at the airport. And he says like the only place that he could sleep and find rest because everybody was there was by the doors. And he tells the story, and he's like, all night long because because they have the voice recording every time the doors open and close. And so when he's telling the story about trying to sleep, because he's a light sleeper like me and cannot sleep, and every 5 minutes he hears and he just tells it, and I'm dying. And so I still have him tell that story every time. He can tell stories. My dad can tell stories, and my mom is like a bulldog and will not let go.
Yeah.
So between the two of them, you've got me. What about you? What are your favorite attributes about your parents?
My mom's really well read.
Yes,
she
she is.
has just read about every king and queen
Your
from the
mother
history
is
of the
Google
universe.
before Google.
My mom was Google before Google. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, let's look it up. And her dad was always, her dad was probably the most well-read person I've ever met in my life.
That man could crossword.
100%. 100%. And he finished them every week. Like, who finishes the New York Times crossword puzzle without Google every single week? He did it and just destroyed. And then my dad is my dad's just incredible at science and math and quantitative analysis, and he's just wise. So
Yeah.
I would say that's probably my dad's wisdom and my mom's being well read. So I ended up being, kind of a wise guy, and
A wise
I like
guy.
books.
Well, yeah, that's
I have a lot of them. What other language do you wish you could speak? I'd love to speak French. I'd like to be able to speak
Well,
French. But,
I still, I wish that I could speak like a derivative of something that would be able to, like, if you learn how to speak Spanish, you can speak Italian, you could speak all the other ones, but
yeah.
I think that probably one of the Romance languages for sure. French is
Yeah.
maybe
You want to
it's
leave
helpful.
on French?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we're done.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup for listening and subscribing and liking.
I don't
and
care if you like or
sharing.
subscribe. If you don't want to, don't. But if you do, we'll be back next week with another episode of
The Jeff Heilman Project. Everybody have a great
Podcast.
week. Have a great month. We're going to go into March. I don't know yet what we're talking about. I'm going to put together the plan.
She's the producer.
But we are
She's
looking
my
forward
Stevie.
to spending more time with you in the future.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Love you
I hope
guys.
you had fun.
Bye.
Bye.